nice to have you back. It is, of course, Cape Rugby TV. It is really that time of the year now where we're starting to feel the rugby fever. This is what everybody's been waiting for. Do you think that is the case, Jerome? It's sort of the feeling of rugby fever is here. It's going to get more. It's going to get more, but this is it now. The fever time is here.
Yeah, it's here, and I think for the clubs, especially those clubs who wasn't successful with their first game, it's still a long season ahead. So there's no need to panic now. It's a start. So
a lot of clubs also haven't played their first game yet. They've still got a long way to go.
A lot of clubs have, hasn't played, but I think most of the clubs have played. So we've seen on the show a couple of friendlies and of guys who've been playing a lot of rugby. So, but like I say, it's a start, and I think it was a great start for club rugby this past Saturday.
Yeah, all right. So let's take a look. Second half now. St. George's against Brackenfell, and then of course we'll give you the results in a sec. right, so there you go, folks. Our first game, well, I wouldn't say first game of the season, but first game of the season from St. George's and Brackenfell. Played at Gustro, and it was a win for St. George's. Narrow margin, 19 points to 17, so just a 2-point margin there. Jerome, is that what you expected from these two teams?
Yeah, the thing is, like I said, I was in the Strand on Saturday, and there was quite a heavy wind blowing. So if you play with the wind the first half and you don't stack up your points, you're gonna struggle. And I think that happened a bit to Brackenfell because they had a wind, and I don't think they use it properly. And I could see obviously the kicker, the number 10 of St. George's, he knows the wind. He one kick, it seems like the ball is gonna blow away. He kicked it to the left of the pole, and the wind just put it in right through into the center. But you can only do that if you know the wind, and you know that. So I think that was basically the difference between the two. That kick that he kicked. I think the end score was 17-19. So, but well done to both teams. I mean, you could see they both were playing rugby, and a couple of times St. George's went back in the scrum. So obviously. People say if you go back in the scrum, you're going to lose the game, but they managed to win the game.
If you look at these two teams, St. George's and Brackenfell, as running rugby teams, when it comes to club rugby, what is it that you would say is winning games? Because it does seem that maybe in the Super League A structures, the Super League B structures, more so Super League B, and particularly call it the top 8 teams, you need to dominate up front and then run the ball wide. But when we're moving into other leagues, it's more running rugby that can win the games. I don't know if that's making much sense, but
yeah, but I must, like I say, I just think sometimes you must read the game and play the weather. That's why I say I think Brackenfell didn't use the wind when they had the wind.
Yeah.
And St. George's were playing in the right areas of the field. They were using the wind when they can. Though they were going back in the scrum, but they were always in the right place of the field to get points or to convert whatever they have into points. So I think, but I mean, Cape Town, we all want running rugby, and we all want to play running rugby, which is good. We encourage that. But sometimes you have to play the weather conditions also.
You got to play the weather conditions, yeah. All right, folks, let's quickly take a look at some of the other results then that came in over the weekend. And of course, Helderberg then, well, it was their first win for the season, 52 points to 10 over NTK, first game out there. And then Villagers bouncing back after their derby match, 36 points to 27, and of course St. George's beating Brackenfell 19-17. Jerome, first game of the season there for Helderberg against NTK. Helderberg, we said it before, we're going to come out to make a point. First win on the cards, but NTK also going to have to step it up a little bit, considering that this is, 5 years in a row that they're playing for survival?
Yeah, correct, JP. I think, but we knew that Helderberg from last year, how they were playing rugby and what they're busy doing. And so I think they're going to have a great season. They're not going to be afraid of the teams in the Super A. But as you say correctly, the NNK is surviving every year. And we would think that the club or somebody would do something to get things going. And I hope it's not going to be the same way teams are just going to go and take points against NNK. Otherwise, they must not play in Super A because it's very competitive.
Well, we did say last week as well that NTK know how to play in Super League A. They know how to survive there. But it's an early season, and I'm sure that everybody today, with all the exposure to Western Province rugby, all the exposure to high performance, is getting stronger and stronger. The other big game over the weekend was Villagers against Hamiltons. Now, this is a bit of a bounce back from the derby that was played 3 weeks ago,
yeah,
where It was 3 weeks ago. Hamilton's, of course, managed to grab the bragging rights in the derby match. But that derby match didn't count because it was a friendly, not an official league fixture. Villagers didn't waste much time here to come out and put their stamp on the clock.
I was at that derby game. So if I look at that derby game, I wonder. I think for the old boys, that is it's a sort of a big game for them. So I wonder how they take it, like, because Hamiltons were, I mean, it was a big party, it was a big thing afterwards, beating Villagers, and the old boys of Villagers were quite sad, and the Hamiltons old boys were happy. So I wonder this way around if the old boys feel the same, or is that, because that's one of the oldest derby in the country.
Yeah.
I don't know how they feel about that, but yeah, it's a 9-point game, so it was still competitive from
Two
Hamilton's.
good teams, two solid teams, yeah. But when we come back from the break, we're actually going to see how these points affect the log. So don't go away, folks. We'll take a look at how the scores are matching up on the log. We're back in a sec.